Hey, ladies and gents, it's Sam back, and we are doing the J7W3. I did the other two, and I got this plane, I don't know, about a week or so ago, and I'm working my way through the new patches and all that kind of fun shit. So, historically speaking, J7W1, of course, was prototypes, built, flown. J7W2, J7W3 were nothing more than blueprint aircraft. Essentially, J7W2 ended up with a kind of it's a BMW engine that they hacked together off of looking at blueprints, which was pretty amazing themselves because the engine they were going to get was lost in a submarine. So by looking at blueprints, they reverse engineered it from just looking at blueprints. The BMW engine, which they named the NE330, which is the Japanese knockoff of the of the German engine. This one gets the NE440 engine, which I'm assuming is going to be the upgraded engine, obviously. So, and then there's some other cosmetic changes. Of course, J7W2 had a kind of a hunched back on right behind the canopy. J7W3 doesn't have that. That gives it more of a clean line with a all-around better vision with the bubble canopy. The wings in the back here change a little bit. These are a little bit taller and wider. Other than that, there wasn't many changes to the actual visual model of the J7W3. Now, there's, if you looked on the web, there was guesses of what this looked like from this, what we have in game, to ones that still had the hump on the back behind the canopy. So, once again, blueprint aircraft. With that said, what do we have in game? Well, we have at least a pretty significant increase over the J7W2, at least with maneuverability, somewhat over airspeed, and of course altitude performance, just a little bit more altitude performance. Same gun armament, same bombs and rockets. So yeah, it's a faster, better maneuverable J7W2. Go figure, right? However, the altitude performance still sucks ass. The Bf-109B, the Tier 4 German light fighter, has better altitude performance than this aircraft, right? That's a Tier 4, this is a Tier 10. So, with that said, keep her low. Of course you can go up and shoot down, enemy bomber formations and shit like that, but yeah, you're not going to be chasing RB-17s and ME-262s around anything above 2,000 meters. You're going to struggle. But yeah, below that, it's not a bad plane. I mean, this is really more of a GA hunter. I hate to use that word, but that's exactly what you want to use this thing for, shooting down GAs. Those 430s just rip shit. It does pretty well in a dogfight with just about anything it runs into. Low altitude, not the best speed. And you're watching the two videos I brought. I played 3 games in it last night, 2 wins, 1 loss, and one of the games I'll show tonight is the loss I had in it. It's not the fastest thing in the world. And of course with this lower altitude, the bombs aren't bad, but of course they're not GA kind of bombs, so it's kind of stuck in that limbo between not being a great light fighter and not being a good or even poor GA. So yeah, it's a multi-role. What do you expect out of the poor thing? However, once you get on target with those 430s, and that is the issue with this plane, for the most part, trying to get on target with the 430s, it takes me about 10, 15 games to get back into the swing of using the 30s because of the lead you have to use on them, and then the fact that the dispersion on this thing is just ridiculous. A lot of times you only get 1. Lucky you might get 2. On the fucking one occasion that you get all 4 shells to hit and the thing that you shoot at explodes into little pieces, you'll cackle like a little girl. But that is one shot in every 50 maybe. That happens. But for the most part, you get within, under 400 meters or whatever, and you start laying out the 30s, you will start getting some big numbers knocking off. So like I said, with upgrades on this thing, you get your 430s, and you get the 250 kilogram bombs. These are nice for medium ground targets. You can usually knock them out pretty easily. With that said, we're going to take this little bad boy out for a spin. I've decided to go with the Aerodynamics Expert Marksman 1, Marksman 2, just to try to tame some of that dispersion. This is my J7W2 crew, of course, that I've transferred. And trying to work more toward the maneuverability of this aircraft. Obviously, everything I'm going to do to this is not going to increase the speed or the altitude performance enough to matter. However, the better chance that I can get with the turning, maneuverability-wise and that kind of stuff. And I'm probably going to work a little bit more toward the bombs and rockets too, if I can see if I can get that to increase, at least the destructive part of it. But we'll keep working on that. I'm trying the guns, of course. Always put the stock gyroscopic sight on it, lightweight wing frame, and running the stock lightweight power units. These are just to help with maneuverability. Stock reinforced bolt carriers, trying to give it a little bit more range. These things didn't have the best range. Help it out a little bit. Just cuts down on not the distance, burst length and accuracy was what I was trying to do with this. I was thinking of the 262, which is the next video that you guys will be seeing. sorry, I get confused. I get really confused sometimes. Of course, fire extinguisher, control surface, and I'm trying out the engine restart system, and of course universal ammo. These two I might change out. Definitely the fire extinguisher, because it still gets caught on fire more than it should. But it is Japanese. What do you expect? My opinion, still one of the best looking fighters in game. It's just something unique about it. Maybe it's that swept wing canard thing going on. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I definitely like the look of this aircraft. So with that said, I'm going to bring up some gameplay for you guys, and you guys can see what this thing is all about. Alright guys, back with the first replay in the J7W3, and yeah, it's one of the maps where I had a little bit of trouble. I mean, it has one to do with the fact this is not the quickest plane in the world. It is a multi-role. Lots of distance here on this map.
Get ready for action. Let's go.
Getting caught in a fight to defend objectives and not being able to go after objectives and to turn objectives. Since reasonably there was only 2 objectives that I could actually turn without having to take out ground targets and whatnot. And their bots turned the mining facility a little quicker than mine did, and it just kind of got stuck in a one of those kind of fights. I tried, just couldn't quite get it. Whatever. But I'm just kind of showing this video at least some of the strengths of this aircraft, and of course some of the weaknesses. What I was talking about, how it's not relatively quick compared to other aircrafts. Nail my first target. 430s. They are a beast. Pull up in here, pick up my second Spitfire, nail him over. If you get the 30s to hit, like I said, they are wild. Pick it up. Now I'm literally only maybe a minute into the game, and I'm headed over here to the mining facility to stop them from turning. However, by the time I get here, put in one really shitty pass on the German GA. By the time I get turned around to put another burst into him, they've already flipped the objective. So I'm kind of fucked, because now they're already up 2-1 with the mining facility, and my mining facility isn't getting turned near as fast. Go figure, right? Since I'm here, I'm gonna fuck up some GAs, and that's what I'm talking about. These big 430s with tier 10 GAs. This thing just fucking eats them. Now, once again, this fight ends up boiling over here and staying pretty much in the center right here. So now I have to be somewhat, even hopefully, taking this match here, I have to get the mining facility on the other end turned. So that's what you see me here. Trying to get my speed up as much as I can, boost, trying to get over here as fast as I can to try to get the mining facility turned. When I get over here, of course, I see my 2 GAs are working on ground targets, and they have a enemy fighter over here, which I thought was kind of odd, but then I probably realized, yeah, probably a human. Yep, and then it's a specialist MiG-15, which I have no match with that aircraft above, say, 2,000 meters. However, I do get kind of a jump on him here, put a little bit of a shell burst into him, not much, flip up and over, back around on him, and start putting some shells into him. Nail him right off the bat. He's from the OWSS clan. Nice bunch of guys. Give him a shout out if you see him in game. And that's, of course, by that time, their GAs are back over here. So they've been up 2-1 for a while now, and they've had the mining facility, so it's kind of not easy coming back from that. Finally get this turned. It took forever. So I pull back over here, and I have to pick up the other GA that, if I left alone, will probably end up turning this cat back in. Pick up the P1102, start putting some bursts into him. Oh, there we go. You know, that's what I was talking about, the dispersion on this cannon. When you get them all hitting, you're fine. Otherwise, you're kind of, eh. So, pick him up, starts nailing him, and I got the MiG-15 coming in here. Oh, it puts a big pass on me, and I start pulling around the other side. And for some reason, I kind of just fucked up here. I don't know what I was doing. Coming down here and hit the trees, hit the ground. I don't remember if I lost control or what. It just, yeah, something wonky happened there, but other than me hitting the ground. Fuck me. So, it's tied up 2-2 right now, and we're going to see what we can do and hopefully get back over to that other objective here. I really need to take the airfield back. However, as soon as I spawn, here comes 4 baddies. And this is kind of what some of the blame of losing this game is that I got tied down dealing with these planes here. If I would have maybe left and went to the other objective, I might have had a better chance to win, but at the same time, as if I would have left these guys alone by themselves, they would have cleared, most likely turned this objective away from me. So pick up the F-84, trying to get some shells on it. That's the problem with wildly maneuvering aircraft and 430 millimeters. Yeah, not conducive to getting a bunch of hits here. Pull back around here, put a pass in on the baddie. Didn't get all of him. Come on, F-40. Come on, Ward. And it's bad enough that I have really shitty accuracy with this plane, but it makes it even look worse with this bug replay. It's like I'm fucking, ooh, I just hit a mountain. So, down we go, and now, you know, I got 2 aircraft here that are doing their wondrous job of trying to nail my defense bots, but now I got 2 more just showed up out of the blue. And this is what I was talking about earlier with getting kind of stuck. I really wanted to take that other objective, and I was unable to get out of this fight. You know, thinking to myself, if I left this fight, I was probably going to lose this objective. But hey, in hindsight, like I said, I should have kept moving. I did shoot down a lot of planes. I did turn some objectives. Yeah, but I just could not get the win. Like I said, I spent more time defending and flying around than I did anything else here. So I pick up the Focke-Wulf 252. And, you know, really, it looked like it was a big difference in actual score. But it wasn't really that bad because their one big advantage was that they got the mining facility up way quicker than we did. Pick up the Focke-Wulf 252. Oh, like I said, when those guns hit, they are just fucking epic. Other than that, you're struggling to hit your target. So, down we go here, and I'm trying to make it back over here. Maybe I could catch that enemy fighter that's over top of my GAs right now. Put a couple shells into this baddie, and I probably should have just, yeah, one of those in hindsight things, I probably should have just let him go and worked my way over here to the other side. But I always get to myself, you know what, they only have to shoot down 2 planes, and they would have flipped this objective, which it could have been very easily by the time I would have made it over to the other objective here. And this is one of those deals where you're playing solo by yourself, and it's one-on-one human versus human, so it's not always easy. So down I go here, but by that time they of course picked up their mining plant had flipped, and yeah, there wasn't much I could do. It was a little bit closer than I thought it was, you know, after looking at this, but it ended up being more of a deal of who turned what how quick. So ended up with a winged legend, but of course a defeat. What are you gonna do? So I'm gonna be up to the other game for you guys, and you're gonna watch a little bit more of the multi-role part of this. Hey ladies and gents, back with the second game in the J7W3, and this game's a little bit more to my liking, at least objective-wise. It's funny how that works. I'm playing against the same MiG-15 I played in the last game, the OWSS player. But like I said, this map is a little bit better for this plane than the last one. Yeah, and I'm going to do a little bit more of the multi-role with this aircraft. With the 250 kilogram bombs, they do work pretty nice, especially like I said with these kind of objectives where I don't have a bunch of hard targets, a little bit more softer targets, as you want to call them. Yeah, these bombs are a little bit more effective here. So I start boosting up here. I'm starting to look for, trying to see if I can pick up some heavy fighters if they are over here. However, it just seems to be just a couple Spitfires here, 3 of them. So drop down here on the first Spitfire, looking for my first target here. And he is, ooh, get a 1 shell to hit. Back around on him, see if I can get on his tail here before he gets away. Starts picking up here, get a couple bursts into him, nail him. And now I'm looking for my second Spitfire. He is, of course, right where I want him. Fucking wow, bots. Pull around. Gonna get on his tail here. So now I've picked up the 3 of them. We've picked up 2 of them. And we've turned the objective over. We're already up 1. We got, of course, have the bombers will be up here shortly. So, but I really want to get this military base here. And I'm going to start working my way over here. The bots were kind enough to pick up the airfield in the center for me. And we currently outnumber them, so I'm not really concerned about all the red here. I'm much more interested in taking this objective over here. I do have 1 plane with me, a GA, which is alright. He'll enter first. He'll be my bait. He'll take some of the AA. And I'm going to drop down here. I got a couple soft targets. Usually one 250 kilo is all you're going to need against these tents, I guess you want to call them. Pick up the first ground target, pick up the second ground target, and now I can start hunting bombers. Pick up the Hornet, put a big burst into him, nail him, knock him off. For some reason it took a little while for that circle to register a actual bomb kill. But anyway, back onto the Hornet, the last Hornet here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's funny how a Hornet can speed away from a jet. I only have 1 more objective to take. I've taken out the 2 ground targets on the bottom, and of course my GA finishes off. So we're up 3-2-1 right now. Sitting pretty decent. They finally turned the command center on their side. I got my command center up and running, so now we got a bomber on bomber action. And I'm going to cruise on over here and start wiping out some GAs. And like I said earlier in another gameplay, that's kind of what this niche is for this aircraft. With those big 430s, it's a dedicated GA stomper. It just fucking deletes them, usually in 1 or 2 passes. So finish off my threat that's down low here, and start picking up the IL-40. Back around, kind of getting lazy here. Probably should have made a little bit bigger pass on him, but hey, you know what? I was in a hurry because I really want to knock out this bomber formation. And that's the nice thing about this aircraft. You can do that. It does have just enough altitude to get up there and take care of bomber formations. So, start boosting up here, see if I can get a little bit more altitude. I'm not worried about this center objective anymore. It's pretty blue. However, I do worry about this bomber formation that is currently being uncontested, headed for my command center. My military base, of course, is working over their command center. That's always good, not having to worry about bombers. However, like I said, with the big 430s, it just doesn't care how much HP you have, because it will take all of it. Pull around on the next bomber here, put another big burst into him, and like I said, you can see about every 3rd, 4th, 5th shell fucking completely misses the plane. And and this is kind of the dispersion problem with this aircraft. They're just so huge, so you have to kind of work with that and just take it for what it is. Finish off all 5 bombers relatively quickly, and I didn't take too much damage out of the deal. So I drop back down here, pick up my next target here, the I-215. We're just about ready to secure another command center, pick up the other command center, and now we have air supremacy. That's one nice thing about having that military base up there. It just keeps taking it over and over here. Drop down here, find the other human player here in the MiG-15. He is at my level. Any other time that MiG-15 would outperform me in just about every way possible. But once like I said, down below, 1,000 meters, 1,500 meters, or whatever. He's a little bit more in my territory here. So if I can fucking hit him, which is oftentimes the problem with this gun, especially on anything that's moving, wildly gyrating, it's not easy here. However, once he does kind of level off and straighten out, it's a little easier to pick up. Pick up the MiG-15, and we're going to drop down here. We got the GA coming back in here. Anyone that, like I said, literally, it's probably one of the better, at least point defense fighters. You know, it defends well, it captures well, as long as it doesn't have to travel a whole bunch or deal with anything that's got any sort of speed or altitude. But yeah, you can make it work for you at least here. So pick up the other IL-40P coming in here, put a little bit of a burst into him, pull back around. Let's see here if we can pick him up here before I get dead. Put about 1,350 worth of damage into him. Fly on through here, and I'm going to pull back around and finish him off here before. Oop, never mind. Finished him off with some fire, I do believe. And I got one target up above me. Yeah, maybe he's down below me. Yeah, no, they're way up high actually, so there's not much I can do about here. So we've kept 3-1 most of the game. Game's pretty much over with here, and now here I'm just looking for a little bit more XP before game is over with here. It is a 2-1 now, but we are so far ahead, doesn't really matter. Yeah, so I hope you guys kind of enjoyed the video, kind of see what this thing can do. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it so far, so you guys have a good night.